People moved by jealousy have murdered others, have abused others. It's a destructive spirit. It doesn't give life. It doesn't give love. It doesn't give harmony. While Yahweh hates divorce, many have divorced their spouses because jealousy existed in their hearts. One of the reasons why jealousy is not normally dealt with, brothers and sisters, and why it needs to be repented of, is that most of the body of Yeshua has for centuries embraced the pagan concept of serial state church mandated monogamy. And again, this is not a message about plural marriage, so don't meander on me here. Okay? The problem with the pagan concept of mandated monogamy is, you ever hear people always talk about separation of church and state, right? Oh, we've got to separate and protect the separation of church and state. But when it comes to mandating monogamy, the church and state are complicit. Both the church and the state recognize marriage as only between one man and one woman, so that the church and the state are completely complicit. There is no separation. And everything else, are you smelling a rat here? I'm not saying that monogamy, according to its most sense as a descriptive term, is wrong. No, not at all. But rather, the pagan definition of monogamy is wrong. The pagan concept is not merely a term that describes the marital stature of a household, but rather a belief system, which originally descended from religions in which a husband god and a wife god were worshipped, which do not appear to have been supported, any kind of plural polygyny of the kind we find recorded in the Tanakh. Pagan Rome set their concept of strict egalitarian monogamy into law. When Israelites moved away from the Yahweh worship they received from the patriarchs and Moshe, they adopted a religion in which the chief male deity, and don't miss this, the Canaanite male deity, Baal, had one wife or consort, his wife, sister, Anat. They were monogamous. Baal was monogamous. Look it up. He was married to his sister consort named Anna. You know that, Daryl. The Canaanite deity Baal was monogamous and married to his sister cohort Anat. Whereas Yahweh was married to what? Many brides at the same time. Eventually, this was converted into a religion and attested in inscriptions from the time which revolved around the notion of Yahweh and his Asherah. Incidentally, in the epic of Baal, Asherah is the mother. So eventually, when our people were adopting Baal, they took the concept of a wife, or a wife of God, or a mother of God, and they got Yahweh married not to two houses of Israel. They turned Yahweh into a monogamist, Asherah, and Asherah became Yahweh's wife, also known as the Queen of Heaven. You read about that in Jeremiah. In other words, they tried to make Yahweh a monogamist. They mandated their pagan concept of love on Yahweh by turning him in from a patriarch into what? From a patriarch into a mandated religious monogamist who was in love with the Queen of Heaven, also known as Asherah. Where did Israel get the Asherah? Asherah was the mother of Baal, the Canaanite deity. Alright? Now this kind of strict egalitarian monogamy, clothed in Christian garments, actually functions to protect jealousy. I'm going to get to jealousy. This is not about plural marriage. All right, don't shut off my microphone now, okay? I paid for this microphone, Mr. Greenwald, or whatever your name is. So the problem with Christian and church, state aid, and Western world mandated serial monogamy, it tries to pervert marriage like it perverts Yahweh's relationship with two brides, Judah and Ephraim, or both houses of Israel, turning Yahweh into a monogamist by giving him some wife named Anat, or Asherah, the Queen of Heaven. You getting this? This perversion of Yahwistic worship protects jealousy, which is a demonic spirit, especially in women, from ever being properly addressed so they can walk in the love that we just read of in 1 John. It inclines women toward an egalitarian family order. What is egalitarian? That's a fancy word for equal. Bruno and Reina have the same role. Moshe and Rivka have the same role. Marcel and Shirley have the same role. It's the same role. They're both equal. Yes, they're both equal, but they don't have the same role. Yahweh didn't share his role with the Queen of Heaven. Can I hear a good amen? Amen. So, this is a poor substitute for the patriarchal family displayed in scriptures. It also ignores the fundamental difference, apart from the sexual difference, which exists between men and women. Different dispositions, different emotions, different roles, which are intrinsic in each sex as a result of Yahweh's design. Now remember what I told you. And if you weren't here last week, ask someone who was. The two witnesses are alive. They are not in retirement. They are not in a assisted living facility. They are turning the hearts of Israel, that's you and I, Judah and Ephraim, away from a matriarchal reliance or displaced trust back to a worship system where Yahweh has no wife, is not egalitarian, just like his relationship with Yeshua HaMashiach, his only begotten son, is not egalitarian, it is subordination. Moshiach is fully subordinated to the Father. The Ruach HaKodesh is fully subordinated to Mashiach. Mashiach is the head of the man. The man is subordinated to Mashiach. The woman is subordinated to the man, methinks. And the children are subordinated to the woman. That is turning the hearts of the children back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to live the society that they were living in. Can I hear a good amen? Amen. That's what they're doing right now as the two end-time witnesses. The biggest contributing factor in preserving the jealousy amongst us is in its incorporation in man's definition of what love is. If we don't understand jealousy, we do not understand love. And we just read that we have to love the brothers. If we don't love our brothers and we hate our brothers, we're what? We're murderers. And the truth is not in us. And the love of Yahweh is not in us. The scriptures do not teach that jealousy is a component of love. Now in the world, let's talk now. In the world they'll say, well, you know, lovers get jealous, they go into jealousy, they go out of jealousy. It's just a component of love. Jealousy is considered a component of love. True? Yes, true. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, it is a component of love. That's a perversion of true love. Jealousy has no part in true agape love. Amen. But rather, jealousy is akin to fear, the opposite of love. Perfect love casts out fear. Perfect love casts out jealousy. Jealousy and love are not intertwined in the biblical sense of love. They are only intertwined in the Western depraved definition of love. Amen. If you take my man, if you take my woman, I rise up with jealousy and anger and resentment because I want what's mine. That's not love. Meaning, when love goes astray, then the jealousy comes out. But that's the worldly kind of love. That's the religious kind of love. That is the same perversion of love that when they gave Yahweh and married him off to the Queen of Heaven, Asherah. Asherah was Baal's mother, and Anat was Baal's wife. Baal, Canaanite pagan worship, was monogamous originally, before it was even twisted into other weird forms of polytheism. In the Shir HaShirim, the Song of Songs, we know about the Shulamite woman. After her making her way through her betrothal period with Shlomo, Melech Shlomo, King Solomon, and she's about to enter into the full marriage covenant, having completed her betrothal to Melech Shlomo. Do you think that the Shulamite woman